Afternoon, planet Earth. Still trying to figure out where my truck is. Don't know how it is. They expect people to be able to have jobs, regular work and stuff outside of, well, anything. Uh, Maybe at home, from home telemarketing. But ooh, Burlington, Colorado. But yeah, so we're still trying to figure out where my K5 laser is. I've not even heard one peep. This daggum phone stop ringing. One peep from B&D. They have my truck, and they literally will not answer their phones. I mean, these are the most worthless, lying, retard, idiot pieces of trash you could ever possibly imagine for a auto mechanic, and they were recommended to me. I asked about them, and I was pointed to them, and they were recommended to me. So, I mean, they're destroying multiple people's reputation, including their own. But we're gonna give them a try here. It's 4:38 p.m. my time, so, and it's the.
How can I help you?
Yeah, hi. I'm still trying to reach Curt.
Oh, okay. Give me just a second here.
Oh no, make up a story right here. We'll find out. Remember, people, this time last week, it was being buttoned up. There was like they got to put some water in the radiator and just like whatever it was that she said. It was non-specific, but they were buttoning it up and it was almost finished. I don't know how long it takes to fill a radiator, but I gotta think it's just a few minutes. I'm sorry this is so boring, people, but it's not my fault. I mean, if Nick was doing work for B&D on B&D's.
Give me just a moment here. I'm trying to walk around and find him.
I mean, rightfully, we would be able to determine how much time he clocked in February, how much time he clocked in March, how much time he clocked in April, and why it is that Curt is not trying to square the books because his shop time is being used for for my truck, and he's not getting paid for it. Other cars could have been in and out if it was the fact that my truck was in the shop occupying time and space. So rightfully, somebody who's, you know, being on the ball about their own stupid business would be want to know why it is that a truck is being in the garage, hours are getting clocked, mechanics are working on it. I gotta assume that there's more than one mechanic when you're doing, you know, transmission stuff. I could be wrong, but I assume there's more than one. So why it is we have multiple people working on my truck, they're clogging hours, they're buying parts, and they're not getting paid. That would, as a business owner, that would be a problem. So it would follow then that Curt, the owner, is asking Nick, hey.
Okay, Michael,
yeah.
I just found him. He's actually underneath your truck here. He's trying to get it started right now. Do you want me to stop him or anything?
Well, I thought, didn't you tell me last week that they were just buttoning it up?
Yeah, it just hasn't been started yet, because they had to finish putting on the spark plugs and everything, and the rest of everything that goes on top of that.
All right, well, it sounds to me like there's still a lot of work to be done.
Okay, what do you mean? Because Nick had done everything underneath it, and replaced the spark plugs. He just hadn't finished putting them all together.
All right,
like
well,
everything that goes on top of that.
No, but when I talked to Nick, it was supposed to be that he was to be like, I had asked if I could get help because I needed to file a suit against a mechanic that destroyed the truck in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
So I printed out a sheet of paper, it was printed on both sides with the instructions, with the stuff that I had asked him to do as far as I knew it.
Yeah, let me find your paper here. I was actually looking at it a little while ago, so give me just a second. Okay, so yeah, I saw where you asked him to take pictures of what was wrong with it. I would have to get them from him, but and then you mentioned that you thought the CB wasn't correctly hooked up. What else? Sorry, I'm just kind of going.
Well, it's the radio and the CB. There's a problem where I don't know if the CB is working and the radio is definitely not working.
Okay. Yep. So I believe Nick had worked on all the electric stuff. And he was. I will have to double check with him exactly what he was doing. Curt was finishing up everything that he had done in the engine, and putting that back together and everything, making sure it ran well. I know you said that the spark plugs were installed wrong from the first shop there.
Well, so it was running super rich because the guy who installed the EFI had, like, it was literally the wrong engine and there was everything wrong with it. So I asked him to check the plugs. I don't know if they needed to be new or cleaned or whatever. I wasn't sure.
Okay.
But that was something that I had asked about. But the plug wires I know were wrong. There was a problem with the wires were hanging. There was like a plastic bracket that holds them all together in line so that they don't just like fall down and rest on the exhaust manifold. I know in the past I had a problem with the exhaust manifold burning through one of the wires.
Oh, okay.
The previous mechanic was supposed to correct that. He didn't. And I discovered much too late, he literally he only had 7 of the wires plugged in. The 8th wire in the back nearest the driver was literally just hanging down.
Yeah, we kind of noticed that with the, I'm not too sure what that is on top there, just I can see it, that kind of red thing on top of the engine there. We noticed that with that there, you have to be really specific with the wires and everything, and just getting it all together, it's been, there's really specific areas for everything to go. Like I said, unfortunately, Curt didn't take it apart. Nick did that, but I'm willing to bet that he did notice all of that.
Okay. Well, but what? Okay, so what I'm talking about is like, let's say that the mechanical stuff, the underneath the transmission, is now connected to the engine.
Mhm.
We have all new fluids.
Mhm.
Let's say let's pretend the EFI is correctly tuned so that I'm not running like a 351 engine with like 79 psi when it's supposed to be only 50,
Uh-huh.
and it's been correctly grounded because previously it wasn't grounded, so it was only just full on dumping fluid 100%
Yes,
and
sir.
burned up the fuel pump as far as I know. But that's the mechanical stuff that's basically either underneath the truck or underneath the hood.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So right now, Curt is underneath the hood. I know Nick. I can't tell you off the top of my head, and your paper is actually in the truck with Curt. I know he did a whole bunch under there. He had it in the bay for a week or more, a couple of weeks, I believe, before he left and everything. And it's in our other bay right now, not in the air, but it's still in there with the hood, and everything underneath the hood is what Curt's putting together right now.
Okay, but so what I was saying, you're talking about him. He's buttoning it up underneath. The mechanic. I'm not a mechanic.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to visualize is like mechanical type of stuff. But I know that so you can visualize, for example, I had asked for all new window motors. I had asked the previous guy in Colorado Springs for all new motors, and I didn't even get it.
Okay.
But so, for example, that rear tailgate, it had stuck completely down, 100% down for me at one point in time. So I had to actually literally I had to pull off the panel and hand push the window up. Otherwise, it was just open and rain would be pouring in.
Okay.
So you could visualize, for example, if it's stuck up, I literally cannot use the tailgate.
Yeah.
Or if it's stuck down, I get all the weather and the rodents and all this stuff inside the truck. So
yes, sir.
And I was asking as well. I don't know what it is from. I know that windshield is a new to that truck windshield. I also know that the seals around the windows, there's those tilting sort of like like the old style cigarette smoker windows where you could let your cigarette
yes, sir.
just blow out without getting rain in.
Mm-hmm.
I know that on the passenger side, it's possibly maybe broken.
Okay.
But there's the point being, so I could be, on the state highway, like 69 or whatever it is, as I'm going to you, and it's a literal deafening high pitched.
Yes, sir. I saw that as well, and we do have ceiling kits and everything. I will have to double check all of that, but I do know that we have a few things to take care of that.
Right, but what I'm saying is it sounds like you still have to do like a test drive and still diagnose and repair other stuff. And I really, I don't want to forget at all the steering. It's like picture like the old timey black and white movies where the guy, they're supposed to be driving and they're just like moving the steering wheel around.
So it's real loose down there. Yes, sir.
It's like literally dangerous on some of these washboards.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get at is it still sounds like there still needs to be the test drive to check that all the mechanical stuff is correct, and then diagnose and correct the other stuff.
And that might be so. To be honest with you, without Nick being here, I'm not too sure how much of that stuff he had already diagnosed. I usually have his notes in front of me. I'm sorry about that. But I know that the running roughly stuff, everything with that, I'm pretty sure they've got diagnosed and everything. And that's what we're trying to get together here. Some of the other mechanical stuff, like you were saying, the windows and stuff, they may still have to do that. But let me find out how it runs this afternoon. Curt really wants to get it running this afternoon. And then I will know if any of that other stuff has been addressed.
All right, I guess that's where we're at then.
Alrighty then, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Sorry, I try to hold my temper. I try to hold my temper, and I don't. I'm trying to watch my tongue. You know what I'm saying? Tame my tongue. But I mean, daggone people. I don't have. How do you go to a job interview for anything? How do you, post ad to the internet saying that I'm available for hire for whatever, um, pet sitting, house sitting, property management, or how do you even do, online sales, eBay, Craigslist, whatever. Where I'm at, it's near about on average, just casually going along about 30 minutes of drive to get to the post office. My mailboxes are a mile away, or well, so my mailbox is in a bank of mailboxes. So I misspoke. My mailbox is in a bank of mailboxes. Yeah, about near a little more than a mile away. It's perhaps a mile away if as the crow flies, I guess, but more than a mile away by road. And um, so, like, I can put out, like letters, like a bill or something to this effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, put it in the mailbox and put the flag up so that the postman or postwoman knows that there's mail and that he or she needs to stop, even if there's not something to be delivered. But here's the thing: I need reliable transportation for all of this, and I'm pretty sure I've said it before right here. You go to a job interview, you're acing the interview, you're digging the people that are interviewing you, and the interviewing viewer is digging you. Listen, I want to hire you. Do you have reliable transportation? No, I do not. I turned that truck in to them in February. February 14th is what my record indicates. It's September 3rd. We're closer to 7 months now than anything else, just rounding. And I still don't have my truck. Y'all need to understand that's what D Automotive gives you: a flaky reject and his bimbo wife freaking just flake out like a pair of airheads. Apparently, I don't know. Supposedly they're working on it, and then they're not working on it, and they're not working on it, and there's glitches, and you could there's I posted that other video of gosh, the one phone call I was able to find, at least thus far. The one phone call I was able to find thus far. Okay, Nick was saying, there's something, he was going along trying to fix it, but he couldn't. He was going along trying to fix it, but something stopped him. He wants to get it done, but there's all these little things that keep getting in the way. And I'm like, man, I've got a million and one things to do, and I need my truck. Oh, I know. Then he lies to the pastor, who I didn't even know went down, but the pastor was, he's aware of my situation and that fact that I'm having to ride a four wheeler and ATV. It's 35 minutes on. It's dirt roads, backcountry dirt roads. For those of y'all that ain't local, but yeah, I'm on a four wheeler to get to church because I ain't got a truck, and we're coming up on winter. So he goes down on his own behalf. I didn't ask him to. He didn't even tell me that's what his plan was. And he says, "What are you doing?" And Nick tells him, "Oh, I thought it was a side project." Who the hell says this was a side project? I mean, you got to be freaking stupid to think that hello, hello. I've got a problem. I have a truck. It's got a million and one. It's got a whole bunch of stuff wrong with it. The mechanic in Colorado Springs screwed up. I'm looking for somebody to help me with a lawsuit that I need to file against this mechanic in Colorado Springs. So I need somebody who's willing to, work on my truck and then back it up and guarantee their work. Oh yeah, I mean we could do that. I mean it sounds like you got a lot of work to do. Bring it in, and we'll have a look at it. And on the piece of paper that I brought in, piece of paper that this lady, whoever this Dizzy Twit is, acknowledges she has. Please put the junk that is pulled off in the back. I could provide a box or boxes if necessary. I need to demonstrate the previous mechanic that was contracted to do all of this didn't do his job correctly for a lawsuit. Also, please, if it is possible, take pictures of the work before and after you work on it so that I may use it in the lawsuit. You got to be an extra, an extra sort of above and beyond level type of stupid to think that this is intended to be a side project. And does he have these pictures? Well, they don't know. And he was working on it, and he had it in the bay for like a week or maybe more. Yo, after 6 months, I mean, he left, I don't know what, half a month ago, maybe a little more than half a month because I don't know, there was something, as I understand, it was unrelated to my truck. He dropped transmission on his foot or something. As it was related to me, it was like tendons were unconnected, so his foot was literally just like, something. I mean, it was like an epic fail. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say besides these flaming dingleberries just are simply not qualified to be employed as mechanics. And sincerely, y'all, uh, I gotta get around to it mega fast, but it's unreal the kind of rodent trouble that I've got out here. Either way. Point being, I've to get into town and find like a level paved surface to measure out my mother, or well, I guess my sister's envoy that they were supposed to have done repair to that I keep looking at, and it just seems wrong. And it was like a really expensive, like $1,200 or $1,600 suspension job. And I mean, I know they did some work to it, but I don't think it's fixed. It's like as you're driving it. So we're gonna find out what's going on.